let's talk about something that can completely change how we see our relationships. We're going to dive into this idea of moving from a constant cycle of control to a state of real, true alignment. You ever get that feeling? You know, the one where your relationship feels like this constant renovation project? That little voice that says, if I could just fix this one thing about them, everything would be perfect. Well, what if that impulse, that very desire to fix, is actually the root of the problem? Here's a tough pill to swallow. The instant we decide to fix our partner, we've kind of stepped out of love and into something else. We're not connecting anymore. We're correcting. And that one little shift, it changes absolutely everything. Okay, so let's really break this down. The moment we decide to correct someone, we've already, in our own minds, labeled them as a problem. On an energetic level, we're basically sending out this signal that who they are right now isn't quite good enough. And just like that, connection turns into opposition. This brings us to the core idea of this whole thing. What if the relationship isn't a project we're supposed to manage? What if, instead, it's a mirror, just reflecting something back at us? Getting your head around this one idea is the key to everything. So what does that even mean, the mirror? Well, the concept is this. Every trait your partner has, especially the ones that drive you nuts, is actually reflecting a belief you hold deep inside. The thing you're trying so hard to fix out there in them is really a part of yourself you haven't looked at yet. You see, all that friction and resistance you feel, it's not the world testing you or challenging you. The world is simply responding to you, to your internal state, your beliefs, your judgments. And your partner, they're the closest, most direct part of that responding reality. So here's a crucial point. It's not the big arguments that really destroy a relationship's stability. It's something much quieter, much more corrosive. It's judgment. That's the thing that creates all the wobble and instability we feel. Let's just look at this side by side because it makes it so clear. Judgment instantly labels your partner as the problem. It creates separation. It puts you in the right and them in the wrong. And that road always leads to control. But true allowance, that just lets them be who they are. It doesn't create opposition. It creates connection. It keeps you both whole. And that path leads to alignment. Totally different destinations. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? True love was never about making someone into our ideal person. It's this profound act of creating a space where two whole, authentic people can just coexist without all that pressure to change for each other. And this is the real turning point. If a relationship's purpose isn't to be repaired, but to reveal what's already inside of us, then our entire approach has to flip. The focus suddenly shifts from them to us. So, this brings us to what we're actually supposed to do. The real work. Our only true responsibility in a relationship isn't to fix our partner, it's to align ourselves. The work is always, and I mean always, an inside job. So how do we actually do this? It sounds nice, but what does it look like? Well, it starts with these simple, but definitely not easy shifts. Instead of correcting their flaws, what if we just focused on what we appreciate? Instead of trying to control the outcome, what if we tried trusting the process? And instead of holding back because we're afraid, what if we just gave ourselves completely to the experience? That's it. That's the work of alignment. And when you commit to this inner work, something pretty amazing happens. The relationship doesn't just get better in the way you might think. It actually recalibrates itself. It tunes into your new aligned frequency. And this recalibration always leads to one of two very honest outcomes. Once you stop insisting that the relationship has to look a certain way, it finds its natural state. So, either the connection deepens because you're both now operating from a place of authenticity, or the relationship ends. But it ends cleanly, without all the drama and messiness that comes from trying to force something that isn't aligned. Either way, you find real stability. So, the ultimate takeaway here is this. The path to a stable, loving connection isn't about perfecting the other person. It's about having the courage to look in that mirror they're holding up for you and doing the work to align yourself. Because when we are finally willing to see ourselves clearly, that's when love truly stabilizes. That's when it finds its footing.